Have you ever met someone who entered your life like a quiet storm, and yet, long after they were gone, their energy still lingered in the air, like smoke that refuses to fade? Have you ever locked eyes with a soul that seemed to see you beyond your smile, beyond your words, straight into the hidden places of your spirit? That presence, that pull, that magnetic, almost sacred connection that shakes the deepest parts of who you are, was not an accident. That was the touch of a Scorpio. And once your path crosses with theirs, nothing inside you ever truly returns to what it was. You might try to forget, to bury it under time and distance, but somehow, their memory keeps breathing through you, quietly, powerfully, eternally. Because Scorpio is not just another sign. Scorpio is a portal, a sacred initiation into the truth of who you are beneath the layers of fear, control, and illusion. To meet a Scorpio is to meet your own transformation reflected back at you through another human being. They are the guardians of the unseen, the keepers of secrets the soul has not yet spoken out loud. And if you stay with me until the end of this journey, you will understand why you never forget a Scorpio, why their energy leaves fingerprints on your spirit that time cannot erase. Scorpio moves through life like water made of fire, mysterious, unstoppable, cleansing everything it touches. They carry a power that does not need to shout. It lives in their silence, in their gaze, in the way they can make you question everything you thought you knew about love, loyalty, and yourself. To those who have felt their presence, it feels almost spiritual, as if destiny itself had orchestrated the encounter. There is something unexplainable about them. Their energy feels ancient, as if they've lived 1,000 lives and remember each one. They walk into a room and everything shifts: the air, the emotions, the hidden truths. You sense it before you understand it. Scorpio energy does not speak to your mind. It speaks directly to your soul. It calls you to feel more, to face more, to rise above what you once believed you could survive. And maybe that's why people either fear them or fall for them completely, because Scorpio represents everything we crave and everything we're afraid to confront: passion and pain, truth and transformation, love and loss. They are not here for the surface. They are here for the depths. They are here to remind you that your soul came to this life, not to stay safe, but to awaken. So, if you've ever felt that magnetic pull, if you've ever been changed by someone who carried the stillness of midnight and the fire of the sun within them, stay with me. Let's open this portal together. Let's uncover the mystery of why you will never, ever forget a Scorpio. And before we move forward, take a moment for yourself. Breathe deeply. Feel the truth of your own energy. Then, in the comments, write your affirmation: I am open to transformation. Scorpio lives where others are afraid to go deep beneath the surface of what is visible, inside the quiet, sacred chambers of truth. When you speak with a Scorpio, you might feel as if time slows down, as though the air around you grows thicker with meaning. They listen differently. They watch differently. They feel everything, not with curiosity, but with purpose. To them, emotion is not weakness. It is language. It is the way the soul speaks when words fail. Ruled by Pluto, the planet of transformation and hidden power, Scorpios are born into the art of death and rebirth. But this is not about physical death. It is about the endings that make way for beginnings. They shed versions of themselves again and again, learning to rise stronger each time. They do not fear change, they embody it. Every fall becomes their foundation for flight. Every wound becomes an opening for light. That is why their energy feels ancient, why their presence carries the weight of countless unseen lifetimes. You see, Scorpio walks through emotional storms not to suffer, but to understand. They are the healers who heal through the fire. They are the ones who can sit beside your darkness and not try to fix it, but simply honor it. That is their secret gift, to make what feels unbearable somehow sacred. When you open yourself to them, you are not just speaking to a person. You are standing before a mirror that reflects the hidden parts of your own soul. They will sense your pain before you name it. They will feel your truth before you confess it. And they will love you not despite your scars, but because of them. There is a depth in Scorpio that cannot be faked or forgotten. They crave connection that reaches beyond the surface, beyond the small talk, beyond the masks we wear to feel safe. They want to know who you are in silence, who you are in chaos, who you are when no one is watching. That is where they live, between the spaces of what is said and what is truly meant. When you allow them in, it is not a casual encounter. It is a sacred exchange of souls. Many mistake their intensity for danger, but what they really feel is life raw, untamed, and real. They carry emotions like sacred fire, burning away illusion until only truth remains. This is why Scorpios are unforgettable. They do not enter your life to entertain you. They enter to awaken you. They shake the dust off your spirit, revealing what is hidden, what is real, what is eternal. To love a Scorpio, to even know one deeply, is to be invited into a kind of emotional alchemy where everything false dissolves and everything true survives. And that is the beauty of their depth. They remind you that the most powerful transformations are not loud or visible. They happen in silence, in surrender, in the small moments when your soul whispers, "This is who I really am." Scorpio doesn't teach through words. They teach through energy. They don't preach transformation, they are transformation, embodied in human form. And once you have felt that, once you have seen what lies beneath their still surface, you understand why their memory never fades. Scorpio is the alchemist of emotion, the soul that knows how to turn heartbreak into wisdom and endings into resurrection. When life breaks them, they do not stay shattered. They gather every fragment, hold it to the light, and ask, "What can this pain teach me?" To them, suffering is not punishment. It is initiation. It is the fire that purifies. And when they rise again, they do not return as who they were, they return transformed, sharper, clearer, unbreakable. You can see it in their eyes. Scorpios carry the silent knowing of someone who has died many times within their own story and learned how to breathe life back into themselves. They understand loss, not as an ending, but as a sacred teacher. When they love like someone who has seen the edge and still chooses faith. That is what makes their love both powerful and terrifying. It is not safe because it asks you to grow. It demands that you be real. When a Scorpio loves you, they do not just care for your comfort, they call your soul forward. They challenge you to face your shadows, to meet your truth without disguise. They will look into you until your excuses disappear, until your heart remembers what honesty feels like. Their love is the kind that either transforms you or exposes you. There is no middle ground. That intensity is not control, it is devotion in its purest form. But when they let go, when they decide that your presence no longer feeds their growth, the silence that follows feels almost supernatural. It is not bitterness, it is release. Scorpio does not chase what is not aligned with their evolution. They know that every ending carries divine order, even when it hurts. And in that release, they reclaim their power. They do not close doors, they rise above them, leaving an echo that lingers long after their footsteps fade. This is why you remember them. Not because of how they looked or what they said, but because of what they awakened inside you. They touched the part of you that no one else dared to touch, the place where vulnerability meets strength, where surrender meets truth. Their energy reshapes your perception of love and pain. You begin to see that both are made of the same element. transformation. Scorpio teaches that nothing is wasted, not a single tear, not a single ending. Every fall becomes a kind of flight in disguise. Every betrayal is the seed of a deeper understanding. They walk through fire not to prove their strength, but to remember that they were born from it. And when you witness that kind of spiritual resilience, something inside you changes too. You start to believe that maybe you too can rise again, no matter how deep the ashes. So, when you think of a Scorpio, remember this: they are not just survivors, they are reborn souls in motion. They are proof that darkness can be holy, that loss can be light, and that faith is not the absence of pain, but the courage to walk through it and emerge glowing with purpose. To know a Scorpio is to know the sacred art of becoming new again. Inside every Scorpio lives not just one self, but three sacred forms of evolution. The first is the Scorpion, the one that knows survival, instinct, and protection. This is the part of Scorpio that learns through pain, that guards its heart fiercely because it has seen betrayal and refuses to be broken again. The Scorpion teaches boundaries, the sacred art of saying no, the strength to rise when life tries to bury you. But Scorpio's journey does not end there. That is only the beginning, the first initiation. As Scorpio evolves, they grow wings. They become the eagle. The eagle rises above the emotional storm, seeing truth from the highest sky. No longer trapped by jealousy or fear, this stage of Scorpio learns to observe rather than react, to forgive rather than hold on. The eagle does not escape emotion, it masters it. It learns to use intuition as vision, seeing through illusions and understanding the divine order hidden within chaos. From this place, Scorpio sees that nothing is random, that every heartbreak, every silence, every ending carries wisdom. And then comes the rarest and most divine transformation, the Phoenix. This is when Scorpio dies to everything that once defined them and chooses rebirth. The Phoenix does not rise in spite of the fire. It rises because of it. The ashes are not their destruction. They are the proof of their evolution. When Scorpio reaches this stage, they become light itself. No longer ruled by pain, they become the healer, the teacher, the one who shows others that renewal is always possible. This cycle of transformation is what makes Scorpio energy so magnetic. They are not afraid of destruction because they understand that destruction is only creation in disguise. They are not attached to what must end because they trust in the resurrection that follows. And that is why being close to a Scorpio can feel both terrifying and divine. You sense that they can burn away your illusions, strip you to your essence, and then guide you back to yourself reborn. Scorpios carry this energy quietly, like an ancient secret coded into their soul. They do not talk about transformation, they are transformation. Every time they fall, they return stronger. Every time they lose, they uncover a deeper truth. Every cycle refines them until they become pure presence, pure power, pure light. To know a Scorpio at this stage is to meet someone who has walked through darkness and come back glowing with divine purpose. But here's what most people never realize. Scorpio's greatest strength is not their mystery, it is their faith. Faith that even in the collapse of everything familiar, something sacred is unfolding. Faith that the universe never takes without giving back something wiser, brighter, more aligned with the soul's path. The Phoenix version of Scorpio is the living reminder that we are never finished growing, never too broken to begin again. So when you see a Scorpio who has lived through storms and still chooses love, understand what you are witnessing. You are seeing resurrection itself. You are witnessing the divine art of rebirth, the spirit learning to trust its own fire. That is the ultimate gift of Scorpio, to teach the world that endings are never the end. They are simply the doorway to something infinitely higher. Even when a Scorpio leaves your life, their energy does not simply disappear. It lingers quietly, invisibly, like the echo of a song you once knew by heart. You might be going about your day, and suddenly, something stirs deep within you. A familiar emotion, a memory you did not summon, a name that whispers itself in your mind. That is the Scorpio effect. Their presence moves beyond time, beyond logic, beyond what you can explain. Because a bond with a Scorpio is never only physical, it is energetic. It lives in the unseen places of the soul. When a Scorpio connects with you, they imprint on your energy field like constellations etched into the night sky. It is not about obsession, it is about resonance. Their frequency is so powerful that once you've aligned with it, part of your energy learns its rhythm. Even when distance, silence, or years stretch between you, that vibration remains. You can feel it in moments of stillness, in dreams that feel too real to be coincidence, in sudden waves of emotion that have no clear reason. The connection transcends the boundaries of space and time because it was never meant to exist only in this dimension. Scorpios are guided by intuition stronger than most people will ever understand. They are naturally attuned to the invisible threads that tie souls together. They can sense when someone is thinking about them, when energy shifts in a relationship, when something unspoken moves between hearts. They communicate through feeling, through silence, through the magnetic language of the spirit. To be loved by a Scorpio is to experience telepathy of the soul, one heartbeat speaking directly to another. And yet, their connection does not always come wrapped in comfort. Sometimes, it feels like a haunting, a soft ache that reminds you of what was once real and raw. But that too has purpose. Scorpio teaches you that love is not possession. It is energy exchange. It moves, transforms, and lives on, even when people no longer stand side by side. When they leave, they do not vanish. They become part of your internal landscape, shaping how you feel, how you trust, how you love again. You might find them in your growth and the courage you gained after them, in the strength you discovered when they were gone. You might feel their energy guiding you through decisions, appearing as intuition, as clarity, as a quiet inner voice that sounds a little like their truth. Because Scorpios connect through the spiritual layers of existence. Their love is never confined to one lifetime or one form. They show you that souls can recognize each other across ages, across realms, across eternity. This is why forgetting a Scorpio feels impossible. You cannot erase a vibration that reshaped your own. You cannot unlearn the lessons their energy brought to your spirit. You may heal, you may move forward, but deep down, part of you carries their frequency, the reminder that real connection is not something you touch, it is something you feel. Scorpio energy teaches you that the invisible is often more real than the visible. So when you sense that mysterious pull, that gentle reminder of a soul that once stood beside yours, trust it. It is not weakness, it is awareness. It is proof that energy never dies, it only changes form. Scorpio's presence is eternal because it is rooted in spirit, not circumstance. That is their power and their mystery to love in a way that defies distance, to remain in your energy as both lesson and light, long after the story has been written. Every Scorpio that enters your life comes with divine purpose. They are not coincidences, and they are never accidents. They are spiritual messengers disguised as human beings, appearing exactly when your soul is ready to evolve. Sometimes they come as love, sometimes as loss, sometimes as challenge, but always as transformation. Their arrival marks a turning point, a moment when life asks you to shed what is false and awaken to something deeper, stronger, and truer within yourself. Scorpios are spiritual mirrors. They do not show you what is easy to see. They reveal what your soul has hidden away. Through them, you meet your fears, your shadows, and your buried desires. They teach you to look at what you have avoided, to sit with discomfort, and to find beauty in your own darkness. Because transformation cannot begin in light, it begins in truth. Scorpio holds that truth like sacred fire, burning away illusions until only authenticity remains. They are not here to comfort your ego. They are here to awaken your spirit. When a Scorpio walks beside you, they demand depth. They challenge you to rise from your old patterns, to release attachments that no longer serve your growth, to let go of people or versions of yourself that keep you small. They will never settle for halfway love or halfway living. Their presence asks you to live with full heart and full honesty, and that is the hidden blessing of their intensity. It calls you back to your own power. It reminds you that you were never meant to live quietly in the background of your own story. For many, the encounter with a Scorpio marks the beginning of healing. They break you open, yes, but only so that light can enter. Their lessons are rarely soft, but they are always sacred. They show you that endings are not punishments, but passages. They show you that pain is not the enemy of love. It is the gateway to it. And when they leave, they do not take from you. They leave you with a deeper understanding of who you are and what you are capable of becoming. You begin to realize that the chaos they brought was actually creation. The heartbreak was a doorway. The silence was medicine. Everything they awakened within you was meant to guide you closer to your true essence. Because that is what Scorpio energy does. It dismantles everything false until your soul stands bare and radiant, knowing its own worth. They are not destroyers. They are divine architects of rebirth. They tear down only what was never meant to last. And when you finally understand their role in your journey, gratitude replaces pain. You stop asking why they came or why they left, and you start seeing the sacred pattern in it all. You recognize that their purpose was not to stay, but to ignite, to awaken the phoenix within you, to show you that you too can rise, that your spirit is not fragile but infinite. And once you awaken that truth inside yourself, no ending can ever destroy you again. So when you think back to the Scorpio who crossed your path, see them not as the storm that broke you, but as the fire that refined you. Their lesson is eternal. Transformation is not loss, it is liberation. Through them, you learn that your power is born in surrender, that your soul grows in the space between endings and beginnings, and that what is meant for you will always find its way through the ashes. And now, take a breath. Let the silence settle. Let the energy of everything we've uncovered rest within you. Because this, right here, is the truth about Scorpio. You never truly say goodbye to them. You may part ways in this lifetime. You may move to new chapters. You may even try to forget, but their essence will remain like a sacred ember in the deepest chamber of your heart. They are the reminder that every connection leaves an imprint, and that the most profound ones are written not in words, but in energy. Scorpio energy teaches you something most people spend their entire lives trying to understand: that real power does not come from control, it comes from surrender. The strength of a Scorpio is not in their armor, but in their willingness to be reborn again and again from every ending, every silence, every shattered dream. They are the embodiment of divine resilience, proof that even in the ashes of pain, there is beauty, there is purpose, there is life. Their journey is not one of perfection, it is one of sacred transformation. And in witnessing it, you learn how to walk your own path with more courage, more faith, and more light. Every encounter with a Scorpio is a divine conversation between souls. They come to awaken, to remind you of what you have forgotten, to remind you that love is not a promise of comfort, but an invitation to evolution. Their lessons do not always come wrapped in ease, but they always arrive with meaning. They show you that the universe never takes without giving, that endings are not darkness but the beginning of dawn. In their reflection, you see your own capacity for rebirth, your own hidden fire waiting to rise. Think of all the moments they brought to your life, the way they made you feel seen when you felt invisible, the way they challenged you when you were too afraid to face yourself, the way they loved you not because you were flawless, but because you were real. That is the rarest kind of love, the kind that sees your soul, not your surface. And maybe that is why, even years later, their energy feels like home. It is not about holding on to the past. It is about remembering what it taught you, that love, when true, transcends endings. So if you carry the memory of a Scorpio within you, let it remind you to rise, to keep believing in transformation, even when life feels heavy, to trust the unseen, even when you cannot yet see the light. Because the truth is, you are not separate from that energy. You carry it now. You have become part of that same eternal rhythm, the rhythm of death and rebirth, of falling and rising, of breaking and healing. You have become your own phoenix. And maybe that is the real reason you can never forget a Scorpio. Not because of what they took or what they gave, but because of what they awakened. They showed you that your soul is infinite, that love is eternal, and that the end of something is never the end of you. In their mirror, you discovered your own divinity. You found the courage to start again, to forgive, to transform, to fly. That is their legacy, and now it lives within you. So let this be your reflection. Every person who touches your life is a teacher, every ending is an initiation, and every moment of darkness is simply preparing you for greater light. Scorpio energy reminds us that faith is not blind, it is brave. It is the quiet knowing that every ending holds a new beginning, waiting just beyond sight. And when you finally rise, when you reclaim your power, when you stand in your truth, you honor every Scorpio that ever crossed your path, every lesson they carried, every light they helped you find. And now, as the final words of this journey echo in your soul, remember this: you will never forget a Scorpio, because they are not meant to be forgotten. They are meant to be felt in your growth, in your healing, in the fire that now burns quietly within you. Their energy will live on through your transformation, through your courage, through every moment you choose love over fear. That is the real immortality of Scorpio, the power to awaken eternity inside another soul. If this message spoke to you, if it touched something deep within your heart, take a moment to explore more. Watch the other videos on this channel. Each one carries its own light, its own wisdom, its own invitation for your soul to rise even higher. Because your journey of transformation is just beginning, and the universe still has so much more to reveal to you.